actually really excited that we rescheduled this because I didn't realize that we were entering into a full moon, which it is happening tonight. So that's exciting. And we kind of talked about, really making this about different sound. And you're the certified sound expert. I am not. I actually have, and because it's not showing the full screen, I'm going to kind of pick up and show you what I have. And I may ask you at some point to tell me the right way to use them, because I love the idea of instruments. I love the idea of having the instruments, but I'm not particularly skilled in playing them appropriately, I think. So, Vonnie, if it's okay with you, you mentioned that you are an Oracle card gal as myself, and so I brought 2 Oracle decks. I have, this is my favorite. It's Colette Baron-Reid's Goddess Power decks. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It is absolutely most beautiful deck I have, I think. It's this beautiful, it comes in this lovely case, and it has this beautiful book in here, and then these gorgeous cards.
Oh, wow.
I love Colette Baron-Reid's oracles. I'm a bit of a oracle hoarder. Quite enjoy having them. And then I thought, it would be Yasmin Boland has various moon decks. And I pulled out this Moonology one. So if it's okay with you, I was wondering if I could pull a card from each deck, or actually, if I can hold out a few cards and you can give me from the back, and you can tell me intuitively which one you might be interested in exploring further, and maybe start our talk with some oracle cards. And we don't even have to read the book. I would love to hear your thought or your interpretation on it. So I'm starting with the Goddess Power deck. As I mentioned, it's just this really beautiful, I don't know if you can see, the illustrations are just lovely on it. I love it so much. It's not, my most favorite deck is the Sacred Goddesses Oracle deck. It's by a woman named Claudia Olivos, and she isn't like as well known, but she has a following on Instagram and Facebook, and she makes, I have an altar she made. Her husband actually makes the wooden altars, and I have a traveling altar, but she has, it's a really profound, kind of beautifully written deck. But that one is ensconced on my goddess altar in my bedroom and was not as easy to access. So I thought maybe I pulled, how many do you think I should pull out for you to choose from? What does your gut say?
3. I was with 3.
That's where my brain was at. All right. So here are the 3. And, I was thinking we'd do kind of a 1 card. Of the 3.
The middle.
Okie dokie. Let's see. We're looking at Epona, Wise Leadership. And this is what the card looks like.
I'm going to get a little closer. Oh.
It's quite beautiful, actually.
It is a very powerful card.
It does seem like a powerful card. I'm curious to know, what, in seeing this, what feeling do you get from this card?
I have a feeling of empowerment. I don't know if that was a heart that she was holding or a foot. But to me, it was a heart. I
could see, it looks like it could either be an anatomical heart or a gemstone, but I think you might be right in saying that's in more of an anatomical
like it's a heart. And she's blowing life and power into the heart.
I love that. Look at it a little closer. I didn't even see, honestly, I didn't see the blowing aspect of it, but look at that. You're right.
Absolutely.
She is.
That is a heart, honey.
That sure is.
That is a
It's
warm
blue.
woman blowing life into that heart. Yes.
I
She's
love
empowering.
that. I love that.
She's
Wise
empowering.
leadership. And I
Wow.
love the aesthetic of the a lot of times with the instruments, for me there's a kind of an indigenous, I guess, feeling to them in some ways, whatever the indigenous culture may be, or a very strong cultural connection to varying cultures depending on what you're using. And she seemed to have a bit of that in her appearance.
Yes.
With some tribal markings. So that's
Strong,
really
powerful warrior woman.
I love it. I love
Got
it. I love strong, powerful warrior women. Yeah, she's really quite beautiful. And it does come with this beautiful book. They sell, Hay House actually has this now, where this is a really big deck. They sell a traveling one now. And apparently Epona is the Celtic Roman horse goddess of leadership and guidance, which is really interesting. Which I love that message. That was pretty. So this is the Moonology deck.
Okay.
And I have two different ones. I have one that's a manifestation one and one that's this is the manifestation one. The other one is a little different. It has different moon phases in it. And well, this kind of does too, but, and I do know what full moon we're going into. I don't.
I do not. No. I think it's Aries.
No.
Maybe Aries? I don't know.
I don't know if anyone's watching and wants to share if they're aware of which moon we may be headed into. I don't actually know. Sometimes I'm usually into the moon cycles, but sometimes I'm like really like knowing what's going on, and sometimes I'm just like, oh, it's a full moon. I didn't realize I should probably charge some.
I didn't. Honestly, I didn't even realize it was a full moon. My friend told me about a full moon ceremony happening this week, and I was like, oh, it's going to be this week. And she goes, it's Thursday, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm like, okay.
It's at 12:30. That I looked it up because I said I have a little app on my phone that tells me when the moon is gonna, whatever phase it's in.
Mm-hmm.
And that one told me that it's really tomorrow, but it's like right after midnight, essentially.
Yes. Yeah.
What are you feeling about this card deck? How many choices in this one?
4.
You know what? That's so funny because I was thinking the same.
You were thinking
I think we may be having some shared mind experiences right now, Vonnie. All right.
Wonderful.
All right. So let's see. All right. And where are you feeling here?
I guess it's the middle one on the right.
This one?
Yep.
Okay. Let's see what that has to say. Well, this is the full moon in Sagittarius.
Okay.
Which is interesting because of all the different moon phases. And this one says to see the bigger picture. And so that is the manifestation in this one is see the bigger picture. What's your sign? What's your zodiac? What's your sun sign?
I am a Cancer.
You're a Cancer.
Cancer.
I am an Aquarius.
Through.
Do you know your big 3?
Cancer, Virgo, and then I believe Gemini, which is just
That's probably I think is that your ascendant, Gemini?
Yes.
I think that's mine as well. So I'm Aquarius sun and Libra moon and Gemini ascendant, and found out not too long ago all 3, put it together that all 3 are air signs.
Mm-hmm.
And I shared that with someone once, and they said, "Oh, honey, are you okay in life?" I said, "Not often. I am not well tethered or grounded," which makes a whole lot more sense now that I'm that I'm so very aware of. My whole entire zodiac being all the air signs. But thankfully, my son's main sign is an earth sign, and my husband's is also an air sign, but my daughter is a fire sign. So at least we have one of us in the family who is likely to be grounded.
I'm a Cancer, and my son is a Capricorn. So, yeah.
Capricorn is what month?
January.
But is it also encompassing some of December?
It's, I believe so.
I think my son is a Capricorn.
He's January 13th, so what are you doing? Go.
He is. He just heard me, and he said he is, in fact, Capricorn. My daughter's a Sagittarius, and my son is a Capricorn.
Good night, honey. Go to bed. Sorry.
So, I didn't know he was listening from the other room. All right, so I would love to know what beautiful instruments you have with you.
Is it okay if I move the...
Move yourself around. Do whatever you need to do.
So I have my beautiful gong right here.
That's beautiful. That's big.
Yeah.
It's the baby version of that.
Yeah. It's beautiful. It gets the job done. It brings you back home after the ethereal instruments that I have.
Uh-huh.
I have a thunder tube, which, have you ever heard?
I don't know about thunder tubes. Tell me more.
So it sounds like thunder. It could also it has a head of a drum on it, so you can also.
That's lovely.
And
thunder
so you can actually sing into it, and it totally echoes your voice and changes it. And you can do it all at the same time. Yeah, it's a pretty cool instrument.
Where did you come across that? That's wonderful.
I actually was looking into didgeridoos, and I wanted to have something along that sound, and at first I thought it was going to be along that sound, and it really wasn't, because I can't do the circular breathing, but I actually enjoy the way that this sounds. So
that's beautiful.
Right?
Yeah. And I've heard of a rain stick, but not a thunder tube, so that's amazing.
Yeah, it's cool. And then I have two different tongue drums. This is a 15-inch or 15-note one.
And is each note tuned to like a chakra, or is just a specific note on a scale?
It's just a specific note on a scale. And then This is a 8-note one.
Oh, that's so lovely.
Yeah, so it's like a little twinkly. And then I have my singing pyramid here.
That's gorgeous. And
that will play forever.
You hang that from your ceiling? Is that what that's hanging from? Or like, is that on a stand?
This is actually on a stand, because I also have I have some chimes over here, a rattle, and then let me just flip this over so you can see. And then I've got all of the crystal bowls, all of the chakras.
I'm so jealous, because you have all the chakras, don't you?
I do. I do.
Oh, I'm so jealous. I've been trying for a very long time, and it's not an easy financial endeavor, let me say.
It is very much an investment.
It is.
And then I've got several different. I'm sorry, what?
Did you have them kind of all at one time or overtime?
Overtime. I started with the sacral and third eye, because I'm always drawn to those two chakras. And then I just built on that. Bought two, one at a time, as well as my Tibetan bowls. I have 5 of them now. They're all very, nice.
I love them.
And then I've got all the tuning forks. I know that you said that you had your tuning forks, so I didn't bring all of mine out, but I do have.
I don't have very many. I'm not gonna lie. I only really have one that came in like a kit called Goddess Provisions, and then one that I ordered at the same time that I ordered this gong that I have, and it was a specific frequency, and it has some kind of interesting information with it, but I don't have a lot. I wish I had a whole set. That would be lovely, but I don't. But I would love to share, so I'll share some of what I have. So I have over here, let's moving this way, and please ignore some of the mess that I was trying to avoid. So I have, well, the first thing I have, this is, I don't know if you can see, so this drum.
That's beautiful.
It's isn't it beautiful? So it's handmade. So there's a woman in the Netherlands. Her name is, name is Heidi, but I'll share with you her site. I started by collecting. She makes these wonderfully fantastic clay goddesses, and I kind of got one and got another one and got another one, and I mean, if I don't have, I'm lowballing it at 20 to 25 that I've commissioned from her over time, because she's just phenomenally talented. But she's also a beautiful artist. So she hand painted, and she didn't just hand paint this drum. She hand did all of it. She hand drawn it. She did all of the work. And so this is a one of a kind. It's a Hecate drum. All the symbols of Hecate, and it is in animal skin, which I struggled with briefly, because I had a hard time, but she did tell me it was skin from a shaman, so it was like ethically sourced, blessed. And then this is all hand painted. And so it has this really beautiful, and it's just such a beautiful, I love it. I just love it. And so I waited quite a while for that to arrive from the Netherlands. And so then I have my root chakra bowl. So the C note root chakra bowl. I try and get them in colors so that I remember which ones they are. They do have little stickers inside to tell you. But I have that one. And then, this is terrible because I want to say this is the solar plexus. Because I just found it. It's E. Maybe you can tell me. Is that solar plexus or sacral?
I'm leaning towards the sacral.
I think I may have gotten it because it was sacral, but it felt like it bled into the solar plexus in the colors.
Yeah.
And I have to look back. It's this one is 4. It's not 487. It's not the 432 hertz. I want to say it's 440. 440.
Okay.
Yeah. And so that one, I think this one might be, I think you might be right that this is sacral. That one's done. I'm going to have to look back. And I should know that, but I got it at the same time as this one. This is the one I'm actually quite excited about because it's a little different. And this one down here, this is the, so this one's actually a really pretty pink color. It's hard to tell. It's a C sharp, and it's for the adrenals, so it's not actually specifically a chakra bowl, but it is, I personally struggle with adrenal health sometimes, I think. And it has the most beautiful, and for whatever reason, it holds the sound far longer better than the others. I think it feels like it's almost a little thinner. And then, of course, I have, as you mentioned, the third eye, because that tends to be I tend to kind of root, third eye, and then it's like usually crown comes next, sort of, for me. And then sometimes sacral and sometimes solar plexus, depending on, usually I go with sacral because of the creative part of things. And so I have this, and this is an A note one. And then I have the Tibetan singing bowls I have, in all honesty, they're usually from, like, goddess provisions.
Yes.
Like this one I think came from there. So they're not like these super powerful ones. I have a couple. I gave my daughter one. They're on the smaller side.
Mm-hmm.
She has in her bedroom as well. And then I have this shaker I got. It was meant to call in the 4 corners when I got it on Etsy.
Mm-hmm.
It's also animal skin, but I found this to be really pretty and hand painted. Even though the animal skin still stresses me a little bit, but I guess such is the case with some instruments. And then this here, behind here, this is the gong I showed you, and you actually told me that I need to warm it up, which I was not.
Yes.
I think you said kind of.
Yeah, or even you can use your fingertips. I'll use my fingertips and just kind of get the vibrations going on the gong. Because you don't want to hit a full
vibrating. I don't think it's vibrating when I do it. Are you supposed to kind of?
Yeah, just like lightly, like make a little noise, little vibration, but not like
little taps.
Yeah, like I'm warming my gong up right now. I'm just going around in a circle. I'm just tapping.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Like just your finger.
Yeah.
Kind of and what does that do for the gong?
It gets the vibration going so the sound is sustained.
And when you hit it, when you strike it, is it generally you want to strike right in the center?
So there's rhythms and beats that you can do. Like you can go up, down. You don't ever really want you can hit it right in the center, but that's just kind of like making more noise than anything. Unless you want it. You do it more offset.
Calling someone to dinner noise. That's a big one.
See, and then it just kind of,
and
hear how long
it's kind of vibrating after.
Long it's sustained, and it builds. The tones build.
So they build on top of one another as you do it.
Yes.
So I did notice, and this is something I was not aware was a thing. When I was looking at gongs, and I was on a website that sells, that is, I guess, fairly well known for selling gongs, that there are actually varying types.
Yes.
Which was news. I didn't know kind of what to go with, so I went with what seemed to be the kind of basic, I guess, or the most. I think it was a Chinese. But it was like I can't even remember. It was I wonder if it says it back here. It does not. But it was a very kind of your average gong.
Yeah.
I think is the feeling I got from this. And so then I also
brought the average one as well. This is my first gong, and the next time I get one, this one doesn't have a rim on it.
And doesn't have a rim?
Yeah, like it's Let me take it off so you can see.
So is it flat, more like a shield?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, interesting. Okay, because mine has a lip. Mine has, it's bent over.
Yes.
So
yes.
If you turned it upside down, it almost is like a shallow plate.
Yes. The next one I get, I'm going to get one like that. It's but it's just a different step. The ones like that, it depends on how much vibrations you put it. Like I don't know how to say it.
So is there just like kind of a different tone?
It's different tones. Like the one that I have, I can do it so it rings really out and brown and raw. And there's one that's also feels the vibrations feel a little bit more contained. So it's just about opening but it's all still opening you up. It's just about how the sound itself is.
How do you most often use your gong? Like, in what ways do you utilize it in your daily life or in your work?
When I just need to have a moment to ground myself, I'll just go and warm it up. And even my 6-year-old will do the same thing. We'll just go and just take a second, stand in front of it, feel the vibration, and get it. When I'm doing a session, I will have it standing and play it away from my client. And then I'll actually bring it and play it on the crown and on the roots. And yeah. So it brings you up and then it brings you down.
So when you're doing that, sorry, something popped up on my phone. When you're doing that, that is really essentially because you're also a chakra, like you're a certified chakra healer. You work a lot with the chakras. Yes. And I'm assuming, that's a big part of balancing. That for you, that would be a big key point in balancing them.
Absolutely. And you can actually feel or I can feel and hear which chakras are out of line when you're doing the forks around in the auric field. You can, when you're doing the gong, do you use the pendulum? When I do any sort of Reiki, so I noticed you're a Reiki practitioner. Yeah. I'm an Astui Holy Fire Reiki master. I tend to do a Biosin scan. So I'll use a pendulum and sort of start at the top and then see, if there's movement over certain chakras, that tells me, okay, this one is like kind of out of alignment. Or if the movements are all going, say, like, I like to look at it as clockwise good, counterclockwise bad. I don't know if that's necessarily the case, but for me, that makes sense just because of the lineage of the modern mystery school that I've been a part of as well. They talk a lot about turning, like, you're clockwise in the with the will of God, the will of, the universe. And so I think of the chakras as turning clockwise. But I'm curious to know, so do you have a set of tuning forks that are tuned to each chakra? I do. But you could also use a stinging bowl. The same way you would do the pendulum. If you go around, go from the head to the toe with the chakras, and you can actually hear when it starts bouncing, that's what chakra needs help. That's what chakra. So, yeah.
When you say bouncing, you mean like the vibration doesn't stay
when it's bouncing. Yes, when like when you sometimes you're playing a bowl and the sound starts bouncing. Like not good. It's not sounding good. It's not feeling good. That's what needs to be worked on. That's how you can tell. And then even when I'm playing the bowls, sitting down and a client is laying in front of me, if I play the root chakra and they're out of line or they're having self-esteem issues and I play the solar plexus bowl and it starts bouncing and reverberating all over the place, we know that's something there's some stuck energy there that we need to work through. So it's kind of like doing the same thing with the pendulum, but just with sound.
I have not even considered, honestly, using, I think, sound as an indicator, and I really love the idea specifically. So with the tuning forks, what would kind of tell you, like if you were to strike that, say, the root chakra tuning fork, how would you realize that isn't quite right?
the vibration feels off. The vibration sounds off. The sound doesn't, you can hear it, you can feel it. We, as energy movers and givers and exchangers, we feel when energies are off. You can feel it, you can hear it. It's a definite pinging sound.
So you don't necessarily
at least that's how it sounds to me. Everybody's, is different.
But you don't have to necessarily have a musical ear.
No.
To hear that difference.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I really like, I found the pendulum to work well, but I think any time that you can incorporate all the senses into things, whether it be, some sound healing, as well as whether it be incense or aromatherapy, like touch, all the things that you can incorporate, I think add an element to that metaphysical kind of more holistic energetic healing. And so I love the idea of that sound element. That's really cool. So another thing, this is what so my tuning fork, and I did not take the time to read very much about this. I got it around Christmas time. I get excited about things and I want to know all of the things. So I tend to have about 1,000 books on different subjects. And who's going to read all that many books? But I get really excited about something and want to know everything about it. And then I remember I work about 50 hours a week and have a son and daughter and don't actually have the ability to learn all the things all the time. Yep. But this I thought was a really interesting thing. So it's tuned to these two different, it's 432 and 585. And it's Sacred Sounds for Modern Times, created by Jonathan Goldman. It's the Intention Enhancer Tuning Fork Kit. And it's only one. No, there's more. And one is attuned to 432, and that says it belongs to a specific baggery and ratio harmony used in our Lemurian tuning forks. And the 528 belongs to the solfeggio scale and is found in all Holy Harmony tuning forks. So it kind of came as a set. And then they have this little thing.
Yes.
I believe it's to strike it on. Is that what that's called, an activator?
Yeah.
And so it came in this kit of, I want to say there's just the two in here, and it says which one's which. So this one is the 528, and then this one is the 432. I was reading a little bit about like the benefit of kind of striking them at the same time, but also striking them separately. I don't know if it's very hard to hear a tuning fork. And then, I don't know if you could hear. It's nice when you could hear it like right by your ear. I feel like they're important to be like right near your ear. And then this one seems to be a bit bigger. I have a slightly different. I like that I could see it vibrating. It's kind of neat. And then, I haven't, like I said, I haven't really done a lot into it, but it seems like the idea was to use them kind of in tandem to create a specific frequency for building intentions and enhancing intentions. And
so when you use them together, it changes it from one frequency, from the two separate frequencies to a third frequency, which changes it to a binaural beat, which puts you kind of in a more meditative trance-like state.
So how do you use them together?
So, and of course,
do you hit them off each other? Do you use the thing?
Okay, so mine, I have an activator. I didn't bring out all my, I don't know why I didn't bring out all my instruments. But so this is the 528, which is the me. I also have a wooden mallet. So like, can you hear that?
I can. It's actually really strong. Yeah.
Okay. And then, so that was just with that, that's hitting it with the activator. That's hitting it with the wooden mallet.
Okay.
Okay. So it makes it a little bit louder. This is going to be high pitched. This is the angel frequency. So when you want to clear all negativity,
and what's that frequency?
This is 4096.
Okay.
Okay. So,
ooh,
yeah.
I like that one.
And this clears. Whew. And just being here, I could feel the.
And that's the angel frequency you said.
The angel. And then this is the all healing 528. If you're gonna do if you don't have the whole chakra set of tuning forks and you want to align somebody, this is a good one.
So this is the 528 that I have. And I do have, I mean, this isn't a good wooden mallet, but I do have this.
Uh-huh. That was such a different sound from when you hit it with the activator.
Yeah, it's a lot clearer.
Yes. So then when you hit them together, now I'm going to...
So you can touch them together without damaging them?
You can hit them together.
What point of them do you hit?
Just, I usually hit right here.
So you kind of cross them like this.
Yes.
You don't do like this.
No.
Interesting that I only one feel.
But then if you hear, put them by.
It's a very different experience when they're right by your ears,
yeah.
Isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, they're really going on for a long time, too.
Yep. And if you have the weighted forks, if you have the weighted tuning forks, those ones they aren't as loud when you hit them when you're just like this, but when you put them by the ear, it's amazing. You can put the weighted forks on the body, and the vibrations from the forks actually help. It can help with tinnitus. It can help with if you have shoulder pain, hip pain. Yes, and because the different frequencies help with the different frequencies interact with the cells in your body to encourage healing.
I'm a big, and I know that it's actually one of the things, and I don't need science to prove things to me. I have enough faith in the ethereal and the metaphysical and the esoteric without science having to tell me it's true. But I do love the validation that comes with the very scientific understanding that sound and vibration very much exist and are very much tied to our cellular makeup.
Everything in the world is vibrates.
Mm-hmm.
Everything. Living, non-living vibrates. That's why our crystals give us energy.
It's so funny.
I was just
going to say, that's like, how could people deny the use of crystals?
Exactly. So when you hold when you're having cramps and you hold a carnelian, because again, I'm going to the sacral because that's where I hang out. And you hold it to your womb and you start feeling better because of the energy, the vibrations of the crystal. It's just it goes with the cells of your body, just like sound. If you put water by the crystal bowls, if you put water inside the crystal bowls, it actually changes the cellular structure of the water.
So really, so now is that only in the sea? So I also have, I've recently, not recently, but I've had a bit of a fascination of the with copper coils and the copper, right? So I have a few of, like, I have a bracelet, and then I have one that I have around, so I have like a violet flame kind of crystal, and then I have this one that's a generator with the idea of it hopefully expanding, you know, the violet flame out. Is it a similar idea with how that sort of changes the structure